So I decided to do my stereotype project on, I was going to do just strictly Mexican Americans, but a lot of the information that I found really applied, and all the articles really talked about all Latinos, Hispanic Americans from every country. So one interesting thing that I found was a website called wearemitu.com, and it's just a social media website. They have all kinds of topics on there, but it's directed towards young Latinos. Um, their their little saying, on their website, it says we are the 200%, 100% Latino and 100% American. So I thought that really embodied everything that I'm actually about to talk about. So on NBCNews.com, I found an article about young Latinos born in America with immigrant parents and about the struggles they face with trying to keep their roots and keep their culture and language, and then also be American and be accepted into the American culture. And that is a big struggle because a lot of times you'll have one parent that wants you to be more Mexican or more, whatever country you come from, and you'll have one parent that is like, be American, speak English, I don't want you speaking Spanish, and and I think they don't do that because they hate their own culture they come from, but they don't want them to struggle and get discriminated against. So I know it comes from a place of love from that. It doesn't come from them hating their own culture, but they just want them to not face so much pain and to fit in. So a lot of the stereotypes that um, so the stereotypes that Latino, Hispanic Americans face are, of course, what I pulled this information from is a website that talked about Hollywood stereotypes of Latinos and Latinas. And I figured this would kind of fit in well since we talked about how over time, media, TV, movies, will influence a culture over time. And since these are stereotypes that we have seen for years and years in movies, and we still see them today, it's getting a little bit better, I think. I think they're showing Latinas like a more complex characters and less stereotypical, but it's still prevalent and definitely there. So a lot of the stereotypes that they face is Latinos will always play a maid, a nanny, and if they're not, they're going to be that spicy Latina, with an attitude, or ultra like over sexualized character. And of course, the males are going to be drug dealers, gang members, and of course now cartel members, because that is like the new thing thanks to Narcos. Everyone's a cartel member now. Um, so when it comes to Latinos in healthcare, I found a really good article on theatlantic.com, and the article was titled Why Many Latinos Dread Going to the Doctor. So what it talks about here is that it's not necessarily an income barrier, which is what a lot of people will kind of chalk it up to, like, well, you're an immigrant, so you're poor, you don't have health care. But a lot of them will have steady work, steady jobs, health insurance, and still will not go to a doctor. Um, and basically, it's part of it's a language barrier. Um, like if you're not comfortable going to a doctor who doesn't understand you, doesn't speak your language, you're not gonna go. You're not gonna go unless you're very, very ill. You're gonna just kind of, stay home, take care of it yourself. And part of that too also is a lot of them have a distrust of Western medicine. They have a lot of home remedies, um, teas and this and that, and eating this and taking, different herbs, for sicknesses. So, especially if you're not comfortable talking to a doctor and they don't speak your language, you're gonna just go to what you're familiar with. You're gonna ask your friends, and they're gonna be like, "Hey, yeah, my mom used to make me this, and it helps with whatever, everything from menstrual cramps to, colds and stuff like that." Um, and and with this language barrier and not a distrust in Western medicine, I did talk to one of my friends. She's the person I spoke with about this project. She's Mexican American, came as a young child illegally into the United States. Her whole family's legal now, but it was a long process, and she did face a lot of barriers. But she did tell me that her dad, she's frustrated with her dad because he's had health insurance for many years and he has not gone to the doctor. And he just went to get surgery, I think she said on his knee, but he didn't even want to, he just would not go. And she's very frustrated with that. And some other stereotypes that she has faced. She told me a story, and this is not healthcare related, but so she is in the funeral industry. She's done everything from picking up bodies to embalming to funeral planning and everything like that. So a few years ago, a mandate came down that Nevada had to that funeral professionals had to be licensed. So when she went in front of the board to get licensed, one of the ladies there said, "Oh, this name doesn't even sound like she's legal to work in the United States." And then they kept questioning her. They're like, "It says you're a naturalized citizen. What does that mean?" And two of them voted no for her to not get her license just based on that. And they didn't even know what a naturalized citizen was, and they still voted no. She got her license because the other three voted yes, because there was 5 people on the board and 2 said no, 3 said yes, so she still got her license. But that was just, it's terrible. Um, but back to the healthcare aspect of that. So what I think we can do better, I know in the hospital I work at, we have translators, we have translator phones. But every time you go into the room, you don't necessarily have time to get the translator phone, and it takes a long time. Sometimes no one's on the line. You gotta wait in like 30 minutes. But I think what we can do better is try and listen more to patients. I feel like so we can listen to our patients more, and I think also having a different attitude, as that article that we read last week about ethnocentrism in healthcare, that really opened my eyes, because I am probably very guilty of this, like thinking, oh, like, I know better than you. You don't know what you're talking about. Just do what I say and it's fine. Especially, and I don't really have the attitude too much, but I know doctors do. They think they're God sometimes. And, they just have kind of that attitude that just do what I say. I know better. You don't know what you're talking about. So I think, taking that into account, like maybe saying, "Oh, well, what do you do for your pain?" Or "What do you do when you have oh, it's like, okay, you can still do that as long as it doesn't interact with what the doctor's giving you with medications." I think it should be fine to, like, kind of incorporate, like, a whole being wellness, besides not just, taking this medication and doing this and that. I think kind of having a more holistic approach to it, as in whole bodied approach to it, and coming in from a place of understanding instead of a place of, like, "I'm the doctor, I'm going to tell you what to do." I think that would change, a lot of people's lives, and I think that would change, maybe get, if more Latinos, more people to actually trust doctors more. And I think that would be good for everybody.